Welcome back, guys, to another week and another Destiny 2 video, where this week we're going over Arms Dealer, which is a pretty easy Grandmaster strike, so let's just get right into this guide. Upon getting into this strike, you're going to be met with two champions almost immediately. It's going to be an Unstoppable champion and a Barrier champion, and a handful of ads you're going to have to deal with. These ads have Void Shields, so make sure you have some way of getting rid of them. But deal with the Unstoppable champion first, my recommendation, because he will push you and try to wipe your team before the strike even starts. Once you do the Unstoppable champion, move on to the Barrier champion, and then you're going to scan a console, which is going to allow you to go outside to the airfield area and then work through a few more ads and another champion that we're going to go over right now. Once the door opens, you're going to go down a little ramp where you're going to be met with a bunch of ads. They're out there in the middle of the field. Work on them. My recommendation first for this is take care of that Thresher because it's annoying and it hurts. Get rid of it, heavy it, whatever you have to do, just get it out of the way so this way you can move around the airfield more freely. What you're going to do is you're going to work through all these ads that are pushing you, and you're going to try to find the guy that is in like the green chartreuse, as Cade calls it later on, armor, and then that is going to trigger the Unstoppable champion to spawn, as well as a bunch of little ads through the Unstoppable champion, and that is going to cause one of the tanks to be lifted up out of here and reveal a solar fuel cell that you're going to have to pick up and run to the next area. When you pick it up and start running to the next area, there are going to be dogs coming out of the door in front of you with a Barrier champion on the platform above. Take care of the war beasts first, and then deal with the champion. Grab the ball and move up a little bit more. The place where you have to dunk it, there's going to be another champion. Work on him as a team, take care of him, dunk the fuel cell. Once the fuel cell has been dunked, there are going to be ads coming out of the door directly to your right, and you're going to deal with them, throw a grenade on it. They're just regular ads, get rid of them, and an Unstoppable champion is going to come out of the little glass room in front of you. Once you get him taken care of, you can move on to the next area. This next part, there's really not a lot to do. There's going to be a few ads for you to deal with as you run through this little room. You can choose to ignore them. They're really not that big of a deal. And then you're going to be met with the entrance to the ship, which a lot of people will try to fight everything in here, but there's a really easy way to do this. What you're going to do is once you get out here, you're going to jump on your Sparrow and head directly to the left. You're going to jump up onto these like hydraulic pistons, and you're going to keep going left, and there's going to be a bunch of rocks for you to jump on. You can jump on these rocks and get behind the Barrier champion. This way, all you have to do is take out the Barrier champion for your platinum. Kill him and move on to the tank room, where my team had a bit of a problem when we did the tank room. Someone got DC'd, they pulled both the tanks at once, and someone died, so I couldn't really get a good footage explaining this next part. However, we ran one earlier last week, which allowed me to get much better footage for the tank room, which we're going to go over right now. Once you get into the tank room, of course, thusly the name, there is going to be a Goliath tank right in the middle of the room. Team shot him, shoot his little like legs, I guess is what you would call them. Get rid of the tank. It's pretty easy to deal with, and then start working your way through these ads. Do not forget to pull the lever down here on this first floor area, up there on the right where you see the little glowing pad right there, and you will then be able to move up to the next area to deal with more champions. Now in this room, there is an Unstoppable champion and two Barrier champions. Personally, I wait for the Unstoppable champion to push us while we're still in like this bay door area, as this will give you and your teams a really good way to just deal with the champion head on. Once you deal with that champion, move up a little bit to where you can deal with the two Barrier champions, get rid of them, and pull the lever, which is going to lower the elevator and make it so you deal with the rest of the ads in this room. When the elevator drops, there is going to be another tank, a bunch of ads, and 3 Unstoppable champions that spawn. When the Unstoppable champions spawn, team shot them, or in my case, you get to watch them explode in an amazing display of builds, and then deal with the guy in the chartreuse armor, deal with some war beasts, and obviously the tank, and then move on to the first part of the boss fight. Once you get to this area and you scan this little computer, the door in front of you is going to open and allow you to start dealing with everything here. What I like to do is jump up to the right hand side and just deal with all these ads in this little hallway, as honestly, to me and for me, this little hallway is a good place to just kind of sit and pick off some of the ads in this first half of the room. What you can do is you can just pick off the Scorpio turrets, the flame turrets that he has up there with him, and then you can look down and start dealing with the unstoppable champion that is also down there with a few shielded ads. Get rid of them and move up. What you're going to want to do here is I also like to sit in like this room on the side of the bridge down the end of the hallway to just pick off these barrier champions to get rid of them, as honestly, because of the solar burn, their Gatling guns really hurt. Once you get that taken care of, you can go and jump across, activate the switch so this way the elevator starts moving. What you're going to want to do is deal with the ads that spawn on the elevator out of the Cabal drop pod and try not to get crushed, and then take the elevator up to the airfield. There's another strategy you can do here where somebody jumps up the chain, triggers the boss, and then you can just do DPS to them early. I personally don't like that strategy, as a lot of times you're just going to kill yourself with Galahorns or you're going to miss your shots. Once you get up to the airfield though, this is where the real boss fight starts. You're going to deal damage to Baraka's Zahn, and he is going to jump up onto this little tower. What you're going to have to do here is avoid getting sniped at and wait for a tank to be refilled and move out of the way. What's going to happen is the same thing as earlier, is going to reveal a fuel cell. You're going to have to go, pick that up, dunk it to destroy whatever tower he is sitting in, and then what you're going to want to do is do damage to him and repeat the process until you are done and you get that lovely loot to fall on the right hand side of your screen. Now, Arms Dealer is not a very particularly hard Grandmaster to do. I understand that with this guide. However, there are things that you can do to make it easy. And one of the things you can do to make it easy is, of course, have build synergy with your team, or just have a really good build in general. And with that, we are going to go over the loadouts we used for this particular strike. Now, when we look at loadouts, we're going to look at mine first. I ran Well of Radiance and Dawn Chorus. Well, because quite frankly, Dawnblade is not in a really good spot for PvE activities, and Dawn Chorus for my Scorch effects being stacked more, doing more damage, and allowing me to get explosions and easier to chain them between champions. Peace of Mind for Barrier, and Land Tank because I do not believe I was running 100 Resilience with this. Skyburner's Oath to stack more Scorch to lead to ignitions, and Cataclysmic because it is Solar Singe. Now, I also read Explosive Well Maker, Bountiful Well, Font of Wisdom, so I could get my super back faster, Revitalizing Blast, and Solar Fulmination, so when I stunned a champion, it would cause the explosion. Solar Fulmination would allow it to do more damage, and then it would chain between them with my Fragments and Aspects, which I'm going to post my dim link for this setup in the comments, or not the comments, the description down below, so if you want to check that out, go for it. My second teammate ran Winter's Wrath with Osmiomancy Gloves, Arbalest for Barriers, Staccato for Unstop and the Solar Shields that we had to deal with, and of course, Cataclysmic, again, it is Solar Singe. He ran Elemental Shards, Font of Wisdom, so this way he could get more out of his Stasis subclass. Elemental Charge, so then he could then make use of 2 Firepower mods, where, Charge with Light, throw a grenade, get energy back, because he was just throwing Cold Snaps and Stasis turrets everywhere. And my final teammate ran Blade Barrage and Shards of Galanor, as well as Peace of Mind for Barrier. Luabre's Ruin, the glaive from the Vow of the Disciple raid for Unstoppable, because glaives are really good in endgame content. They are very good. And Galahorn, because honestly, it's Solar Singe. Galahorn is a solar weapon, and it does really good work here. They ran Melee Wellmaker, Bountiful Wells, and Well of Life. Also, Elemental Charge and High Energy Fire to get more damage out of their weapons without having to use Radiance. Now, this is my final video for the season, as I'm going to be taking a break next week in anticipation for the next season. And when the next season comes around, I'm going to try to do 3 arc builds within the span of a week, so this way people can see what the new subclasses are all about. So, with that being said, I believe this will be my first video under 10 minutes, and you know what? That's okay. I hope everybody has a chance to get one last plug 1 this week, and I hope everybody has a good week.